Hi, family. This is Charlotte, Pastor Caldwell. I wanted to stop in and talk a little bit about this identity crisis we seem to have sometimes as African descended people or Black people from the continent of Africa. What bothered me yesterday, I was able to catch Tabitha's live, and she introduced me to the Black Cabinet Education. And I went over and was watching one of his videos, creative videos, and he talked about W.E.B. Du Bois and how Du Bois identified the dual consciousness that African descended people have to function in. He and Booker T. Washington, used Negro and colored and things like that interchangeable because it dealt with a dual consciousness that they identified in Black people at the time. Here's the thing. I want you to look at all the things that we have been called. Just take a look at it. And then you start adding to that, we, people of color, are starting to add to the branding. Now, when I was in seminary, Charlotte Pastor Caldwell, I argued that we had more than a double consciousness problem. We had a multitude of consciousness that we had to pull from depending on the situation. Because see, you get pulled over by the police, that consciousness really shifts. You know to put your hands up. You know to yes, sir, no, sir. It shifts. You go in the grocery store, it shifts. I do it. If I have a bag, I will tie it shut so they don't think I'm stealing. My consciousness shifts to, I don't want people to think I'm stealing, all of these things. That dual consciousness that we have, we have probably 20. You have a type of consciousness, as some people say, you put a different face on when you go in the office. You just do. And it'll shift when you get to church. Church used to be the place we could take all of that off and be ourselves. It's not that any longer. It just isn't. So you go from there, you go to the bank, you go these different places. I remember during COVID, I was in a grocery store and a Black man walked in. Baby, he was making sure he did not get COVID. That brother, you could only see his eyes, and immediately people started clutching their purses and stuff. Because see, they've been taught by the labels as well. Deadbeat, thug. See, I didn't put those names on here. Baby mamas. Mm-hmm. This consciousness thing that's happening with people of color, what's really sad is we're starting to, some of us, not all of us, some of us are trying to break out new identities and branding for their own benefit, to get money, to get control. So let me tell you this, Black was adopted during the 1960s, being called Black, and the 1970s by Black power movements and civil rights activists. Black became a term of pride and self-identification, emphasizing culture and solidarity rather than imposed racial categories. Now, this is what got me when I did my little bit of research. African American, now this term has been in use since the 1700s, but became much more common from the late 20th century onward as a way to emphasize heritage and identity rather than skin color. Afro-American, used particularly in the 20th century, this term also aimed to connect Black people to their African ancestry, person of color, people of color. In modern usage, this broader term includes anyone not considered white and is meant to emphasize shared experiences of systemic racism. See, when people are able to, if somebody says you can get on the almost white boat, they don't know you. Which is why we were so disappointed in certain ethnic groups on November 5th, 2024. Because when you can get in that almost white boat, It's like it blinds you to anything else. But it's supposed to be a shared experience and experiences of systemic racism. It largely replaced colored. Persons of color replaced colored. Now, there's one that I don't have on here, BIPOC, an acronym for Black, Indigenous, and People of Color. This term has gained popularity in recent years to highlight the distinct histories and experiences of Black and Indigenous communities within the broader group of people of color. If you feel like you're having identity crisis, you need to center yourself. I haven't reminded you of this. The breathing exercise, breathe in through your nose to the count of 5. Hold it, hold that breath for the count of 5. And then breathe out your mouth to the count of 5. Do that 3 times. Center yourself. Wherever you can find that space and place, center yourself, begin to connect with the higher heavens, with the Creator, with your spirit guides, your ancestors. Connect. Identify who you are through the higher heavens and your interactions with the higher heavens. I call myself sometimes the Salem, the image bearer. I bear the image of the Most High God, the one that nothing is greater than. I don't ascribe to all these labels, but generally, if I'm going to identify in this realm, I say African American. So I think Black American and African American, in my assessment, may be the popular terms. Now, we've got others trying to come in and rewrite the narrative. Therein lies the problem. When our own people come in and try to add another brand, we have been so branded from the time we hit the shores of this country. Somebody's trying to brand us here, brand us there, brand us with something. But when we start doing it, for the reasons I surmise that we are doing it, shame on you. Shame on you. Get to know who your God is, however you practice your faith. If you are meditating, if you are chanting, get to know your Creator. In there, you will find your identity, because after all, if you are the expressed image of the higher heavens, then that'll let you know who you are. Child of light, child of love, child of power, love, and a sound mind. Because see, indeed, we were not given a spirit of fear. That's how we walk through the fire and get through to the other side, and they've started another one, and we go on through that fire. But all of these identities, and we won't even begin to label in the church the identities that are given to people. Steady yourself, center yourself. Don't ascribe to religion, because I'm going to tell you, that means you need to memorize a lot of doctrine and things that are unnecessary and sometimes weigh you down. And it's hard for you to ascend as you're meditating, because you're wondering, well, am I violating this? And did I do that? Or did I not? God has set us free. Let's be free indeed. So when you look at all these things, what should we say about all these things? I think over in Romans 8:21, what should we say about all these things? If God be for us, who can be against us? We've been standing the test of time, the test of all the branding for many generations. And guess what, y'all? We ain't going nowhere. I'll see you next time.